Liverpool interim boss Amber Whiteley's here. Woohoo! Oh.
Woo!
On our scale of claps for guests, Amber, that was right up there. So be honoured by
I know, I
that.
was thinking it wasn't that enthusiastic. I was like, "Oh, maybe I'm a disappointment here."
It's the
No,
delay. It's
thanks
the
for having me.
delay. Nothing else. It's the delay. Can I
Thanks for
start
having me.
obviously by saying congratulations, but also can I say I hate the term interim. You're boss, right? You're the one leading the team in that moment. Does that get on your nerves?
Something that I've not really thought about, to be honest. No, I don't think it does. It is just for now, until a permanent appointment is made. So, just on you that one, I suppose,
Yeah.
Caroline. I'm good
Yeah.
with it.
Oh yeah, I would not be good with it. So yes, you're right. It's just on me, but it's never going to happen to me. Congratulations. How's it been? First win at Anfield in the WSL. It must be a mad few weeks.
Yeah, crazy few weeks, but a really good few weeks at the same time. Um, some good results. Obviously started off against Palace and then kicked on against Arsenal and then Man United at Anfield on Friday. So I was saying to someone before, you don't actually have time to stop and reflect. I think when you're in the hot seat, it's something that you have to remind yourself to do. You just get straight onto the next one. So after United on Friday, it was right. Okay, need to start thinking about Arsenal.
Some good results is putting it lightly. Come on. Arsenal and
I
United,
know.
come on. You must be buzzing. I mean, it's not easy getting the results against them, whether you start as the manager at the season, never mind an interim who's only been in for a couple of weeks. That's so humble of you, but come on, how do you really feel? Come on, let us know.
No, honestly, well, obviously, I'm made up, and I'm so proud of the girls and of the staff team. Everyone's put in such a lot of work. Obviously, we changed the system. There was a lot of work to be done initially. Um, but everyone's just been so brilliant. I'm honestly made up for everyone, Keats. They've been they've been an absolute pleasure to work with, and they absolutely deserve the results that we've had. And hopefully we can kick on again this weekend against Arsenal.
You know, when you come in as manager, obviously, I think everyone's question's always like, how much do you change? You know, do you want to like keep everything rolling, or do you go, actually, I'm in the head role now. I want to change things. Obviously, I know you're not going to say like your tactical things, but what kind of situation did you go in with the group of girls?
Yeah, I think that was the first like big decision to make really. So it was, do we stick with, what we'd been doing, playing 5-3-2, with Matt's system, or do we do we change things? Do I do it my way? Do I stay true to myself? And I think that was always going to win. We looked at trends across the league. We looked at us, what were we doing well? What things did we need to be better at? What strengths did we have within the room, like across the playing group? Um, and I felt like it was a no-brainer to change the system, and so far it's been working okay.
Do you think it's important that you set out with your principles in that moment rather than just stick with what Matt was doing? And I know results didn't really carry through for Matt in the end, but initially when he first went in, he done a really good job. So, and also you knew you only had a short space of time to try and get your principles across, which can be really, really tough with a group of players. So what was the overriding feeling that you knew, actually, I'm just going to do it my way?
I think it was the work that came from like looking at the trends in the league, and from the work that went into looking at what we were doing well and what we weren't. Um, and like I said before, actually, what have we got within the playing group? What is going to suit them the best? And everything pointed to the system change. So um, yeah, we went with it, and I think it's paid off so far. So um, obviously, there's still work to be done. We're still working on it, and it's still pretty new. So we want to just keep chipping away in it and improve it. Maintain the results, but improving on the performances week in week.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
I was just going to say it was great for me working with Matt though, because obviously this is my second spell as interim. I honestly could not have been put with anyone more different to me in working with Matt. He gave me a completely different way of doing things. It made me be a lot more open-minded. He was really flexible tactically. Um, so I think that's been one of the biggest like shifts to me over the last like few years. I've got more than one way of doing things now. I've got my way, but then I've seen the way that Matt's done it as well, and that's like, yeah, something else in the locker.
Would you say you are a manager or you are a coach?
A manager.
A manager. Okay. Because I feel for so long, so many managers slash coaches put themselves in both brackets. And I think that's pretty hard to do because ultimately your strength lies in one area and then you should almost get an assistant that is the opposite to you and can bring out something totally different that you don't think of. But I think so many times managers try and be both and try and do everything. And at top level of sport, you miss out on the small detail in which actually is the difference maker.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think it's like you've just said there, it's so important to surround yourself with a, a diverse group of staff, people who think differently to you, people who are going to challenge you, and people with different strengths to you. So, yeah, I definitely see myself as a manager. Scotty, who's stayed with me, he's brilliant on the grass, and I can trust him to go out there and get on with it. I'm still quite hands on out there, but I am not doing everything. I've got good people in the room, and you know, part of my style and way of doing things is to bring them to the front and to empower them. So yeah, I'm really fortunate here that I've inherited a really talented group of backroom staff and a talented playing squad as well.
Yeah, nice.
I've loved the fact that from the beginning you've been like, "Yeah, I want this job." And it's just seeing that and you as a manager as well and having people around you that challenge you. All three of you clearly are role models in what you do and you've got everyone looking up to you. Do you feel that extra pressure, Amber? Because there are so few women within the game out as those top managers.
I do think it's important that when you get opportunities to be at the front, that you stand up and you lead from the front and you put your best foot forward. Um, I hope that the girls have seen me do that over the last few weeks, and I hope it's given them the confidence and the belief to do the same. And I do think we've seen that in the performances over the last 3 games. I think they've gone out there and shown the best of themselves, and that's really all I can ask for.
Yeah, absolutely seen that. And as well with stuff you've had to deal with off the pitch, you have Taylor Hines when she spoke about those sexually inappropriate comments that were directed towards her. I know it's being investigated at the moment, but you again instantly stood up, put your literal metaphorical arm around her and said, "This is what we're doing. We're here and we stand together." Is that some of the things you've had to adjust to doing interviews like this? I know you've been interim before, but talking about stuff off the pitch, on the pitch, having to front up to stuff that normally when you're not that leader at the front, you don't have to do. It's a different side to the game, right?
Yeah, I think speaking publicly about, those sorts of things, then yes. Um, but in terms of the way that, I've supported Taylor, then no, there's not really been a change there. So yeah, I just have to be more conscious that, that um, about what I'm saying in the public eye and how that's going to be conveyed. Um, and that I suppose that my voice does carry weight now, and people do want to listen to what I've got to say, and I think I've got to use my voice in the right way.
Do you feel a pressure doing that? No, going from where the women's game was to where it is now and how, little things can be ostracized into bigger. So say you make a statement, and how your wording of that statement can be changed or manipulated depending on the person who's listening to it, reading it. Do you feel a pressure then to make sure that everything you say, how you convey yourself is, you know, the best it can be?
I think it's just a responsibility and part of being like in this role. So, you know, if you want to be in this seat, that's something that you've got to be prepared for, and you've got to spend some time getting better at. So, I think, um, I'd always like to think that I'd be prepared, well informed, and that I've given some real thought into what I'm going to say and how I'm going to say it beforehand. And that's really how I would approach, you know, any situation like that.
Yeah, it's just really healthy, like hearing from you. Obviously, I think when like I'm obviously doing my B license right now, but I think whenever you can take bits of experiences from other managers, and then like how you said, like even you speaking now, you've got such a clear identity of I want my staff to do this. I'll take obviously this role, and sometimes that's maybe taken for granted a little bit in football. Like I think as players, we always want role clarity, and I think we always want to know like what people are doing, who to go to when the time's right, etc. So yeah, I think it's just interesting, obviously, hearing from you to have that identity and that way of thinking, because you should never take that for granted. I think for us as players, it's key in like a team then being a team and together and stuff like that. Wasn't really a question, but just it's interesting listening to you.
Yeah, and I think that what you've just said there about clarity, that is exactly what we tried to give the players, not just in terms of like our roles and responsibilities, as a staffing group, but in terms of the game plan. We want to give them absolutely everything that they need to feel as prepared as they can be for when they cross the white line. And then if we've done our job, the way we should have done it, then it's over to them then. It's up to them to give absolutely everything on the pitch. And that's what they've done the last few weeks. But I do think it comes from having that clarity, being clear on what they're expected to do with and without the ball. So, yeah, couldn't agree more on that one.
What's been the best bit so far?
You know what? I don't think there's not one standout moment. Obviously, Anfield was good. The goals at Anfield, I was loving the touchline. Jenna Clark, when she's recovered back in from, I think it was our corner, and she's made a big tackle on pretty much the halfway line. Big moments like that I've absolutely loved. But just a
Yeah,
day-to-day,
when
to
she
be
tracked
honest, I
back
love
the
it. Oh,
possession.
it's so good. It was so good, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
I was
brilliant.
celebrating that like a goal. I was buzzing.
It was a
So,
brilliant recovery. I thought you weren't going to get there, to be honest. I was thinking, wow, who's this person with them long legs coming through the middle of the pitch like that? And I thought Bizette was just going to cut in front of it, and this long leg comes round the side. And I was like, fair play. That was nice.
I know Jenna's
That
legs
was
go on for
nice.
days, literally, when she's running, like, about it. But no,
Yeah, it was good. It was a great win, to be honest, because the opening 35 minutes, I thought, wow, like Man United have possessed the ball, but they haven't really created much. And then you go and score, and I was like, that's a sucker punch for United. But soaking up all that pressure and then going on to score and then getting the other 2 goals, I thought, no, that's a proper professional performance that you put on at Anfield, where, the game could have got away from you. The pressure of being at Anfield, the home crowd, you're not particularly possessing the ball the way you want, and they've got all the possession. The crowd can kind of get on your back. But once you got that goal, and I thought, fair play. That was a
yeah,
real professional performance.
the two goals in the first half were so good. That second one, I don't know how many times I watched that back the next day. It was so good, and I was made up for Fuka because that was the first goal.
Nice.
But we planned for that, Keats. We planned
Okay.
to not have the majority of the ball. Like for me, your out possession shape is your bedrock, and I think you can be under pressure, but if you've got that to go back to, you can you can withstand any pressure that's that your opponent's putting on you. So I think they took confidence from having that structure without the ball, and we've got so many good attacking players in the team that can go and create on the break. So and I think that's the good thing about this team. We can play without the ball and play on transition, but then when we played against Palace, we were really good at dominating the ball too. We just didn't convert the chances that we had on that day.
Yeah, for sure. I think against more possession-based sides, you have to choose what you're going to do. You're going to either possess the
Yeah.
ball, or you're going to have a good shape behind it. And I thought, yeah, you can have all the ball you want, but if you don't do nothing with it, then it is what it is,
Yeah,
right?
agree.
So, yeah, it was a great performance.
Coaching 101 from Nikki to Paris. There you go. You can have that one for free. You can have that one for free.
I'm
wanna go
learning
on?
today, not me giving out the information. I'm learning.